Day number 3 of the 12 days of MLB rankings is here, and of course that means it's time for the second baseman. I'll be ranking the best second baseman from every team in Major League Baseball going into the 2024 season. Remember, this isn't just based on one year. There's a bunch of different things that go into it. It's not just about the 2023 season. Appreciate all the amazing support and comments and everything that you guys have been showing to the series thus far. Keep it up. I really do appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the rankings coming at you. Without further ado, let's get going into the second base rankings. Getting the second base position started at number 33, Pittsburgh Pirates second baseman Gleyber Torres. Yeah, Torres comes in towards the bottom. There was just not a lot of positives from his game last year, and granted, he was playing shortstop most of the time because of O'Neal Cruz being injured, so you can expect his defense to get better at second base, whereas at shortstop, it wasn't great. Offensively, we didn't see much from him in 60 games, 7 homers, 4 doubles, a triple with 26 RBIs, hitting .237 with a .280 on base, .374 slugging, and a .653 OPS. He is still very young. He's going to be moving positions, playing second base now. Let's see how Torres does next year. Next up at number 32, I've got Brewers second baseman Bryce Turang. Bryce Turang started off the season hot, especially after having a big game against the New York Mets early on in the year, but overall in the 137 games of his rookie season, not that impressive. 6 homers, 9 doubles, 3 triples, and 34 RBIs while stealing 26 bases, hitting .218 with a .285 on base, 300 slugging, and a .585 OPS for an OPS plus at 62. Has a nice glove at second base, definitely room for improvement here. I don't think it's a complete lost cause, but Bryce Turang definitely has to turn around in order to get moved up on these rankings. .585 OPS just doesn't cut it. Just missing on the top 30 at number 31, I've got Michael Massey, second baseman of the Kansas City Royals. I honestly don't know if the Royals will be going into opening day with Michael Massey at second base or not, but as of right now, that's who's the guy who's projected to be there. He showed some decent skills at times last year in 129 games. 15 homers, 18 doubles, 55 RBIs is kind of surprisingly high, but the slash line, similar to these other guys, not particularly great. .229 average, .274 on base, .381 slugging, and a .655 OPS for an OPS plus at 78. If you're not going to be elite with the glove and put up those kind of numbers, it's hard to put you higher on the rankings. Speaking of someone who is elite with the glove, at number 30, Chicago White Sox second baseman Nicky Lopez. Now, Nicky Lopez is that guy who, at the plate, not a lot going on there, but with the glove, absolutely disgusting. Lopez only played in 93 games last year, does project to be the new White Sox starting second baseman going into the year. Obviously, not a lot of power from this guy. 1 home run. He's hit 6 in his career in 5 years. .231 average, .326 on base, .307 slugging with a .632 OPS for an OPS plus at 75. But again, got one of the better gloves in the middle infield in baseball, especially at second base. That's his true value for you there. You're just getting someone who's a solid fielder. And Manuel Valdez of the Boston Red Sox comes in next at number 29. Put up a pretty decent year in his rookie season. Didn't get that much playing time, only 49 games, but in those 49, 6 homers, 8 doubles, and 19 RBIs with 5 stolen bases is pretty solid. .266 average, .311 on base, .453 slugging, and a .764 OPS gave him an OPS plus at 103, so he was an above average hitter, and the projections kind of like him. It's just we don't really know how much he's going to play, how much time he's going to get, what that offensive ceiling can look like, but overall, Emmanuel Valdez had a nice little start to his career in 2023. Moving on to the next player here at number 28, Brendan Rodgers of the Colorado Rockies. Rodgers, of course, has battled some injuries of recent and only played in 46 games last year, to which the numbers were not great. 4 homers, 9 doubles, 20 RBIs, a slash line of .258, .313, .388, and a .700 OPS gave him an OPS plus at 80. Again, when you're in Coors, you need to see better offensive numbers, and to be fair, I expected a fully healthy season for Brendan Rodgers. He will be putting up better numbers than that. The projections also agree. They expect him to be around a .750, .760 OPS on the season. He does have a good glove at second base. There are positives here, but last year was pretty brutal. Can't ignore that, which is why he's a little further down. At number 27, I have a player who I'm waiting for the breakout. It's Luis Garcia of the Washington Nationals. Luis Garcia has low-key been playing in the majors since he was 20 years old. He came up during that COVID season, and while he hasn't really popped off yet production-wise, there are some things to keep note of that he improved upon last year. Specifically, a guy who really didn't walk much, walked at a career-high 5.6%, and only struck out 12% of the time. That right there is something super interesting for a guy who's got a nice little swing at the plate. That being said, the numbers weren't great overall in the season in 122 games, 9 homers, 8 doubles, 50 RBIs, with a .266 average, .304 on base, .385 slugging, and a .688 OPS for an OPS plus at 90. So he was below average with the bat. I expect him to improve next season. He is only 24 years old. I like everything that I see from Luis Garcia. It's just it never comes through for an entire season. Let's see what he does in 2024. Just missing on the top 25, coming in at number 26, I've got second baseman of the Detroit Tigers, Zach McKinstry. McKinstry actually had a okay season at times for the Tigers last year, but as he got more and more playing time, the numbers did diminish a little bit. That being said, did get on base quite a decent amount, like a 9% walk walk rate on the year. 9 homers, 21 doubles, 4 triples, 35 RBIs, stealing 16 bases. The thing that gives Zach McKinstry his true value is that he can play a variety of different positions. And last year, he played third base, second base, right field, shortstop, left field, center field, and even pitched. So he can do it all. He's a pure utility man. At second base, doesn't have as much value, but I think that left-handed swing can be successful for the Tigers at times. Getting the top 25 started at number 25, Mariners projected second baseman to start the year, Josh Rojas. Kind of another guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't their everyday second baseman. Another player who is more valuable as a utility player rather than playing every single day at second. Last year in time split between the Mariners and the Diamondbacks, he had 4 homers, 17 doubles, 40 RBIs on the season. He was abysmal with the Diamondbacks, so it made his OPS go down to 641, but with the Mariners, 272 average, 321 on base, 400 slugging, and a 721 OPS for an OPS plus at 103. So for a guy who's never going to be great in the field, being a league average hitter at second base is valuable enough that the Mariners are probably going to give him a real look. And if he puts up a slash line like that at second base for them this year, I think they'd be very happy. For the 24th best second baseman in Major League Baseball, free agent Whit Merrifield. Got to expect someone's going to sign Whit at some point. Again, another utility type player that can play a bunch of infield positions and the outfield. While he was an all-star last year, it really wasn't that much deserving. And by the end of the season, he just kind of was an average player overall. 145 games with the Blue Jays, 11 homers, 27 doubles, 67 RBIs, stealing 26 bases. Hitting 272 with a 318 on base, 382 slugging, and a 700 OPS plus at 94. Love Whit, but just not the same player that he was during his prime. Going into his 35-year-old season, oh, that makes me feel old. Michael Jordan number up next, the 23rd best second baseman in the league right now. It's going to be Jordan Westburg of the Baltimore Orioles. Coming out of college, I was a little skeptical about Jordan Westburg, but got called up to the majors pretty quickly and showed last year that he is a very competent major league player. 68 games with the Orioles, 3 homers, 17 doubles, 2 triples, and 23 RBIs, hitting 260 with a 311 on base, 404 slugging, 715 OPS for an OPS plus at 100. Right-handed hitter in that park, of course, is going to hurt him, which is why you saw such crazy extra base hits numbers in terms of 17 doubles in 68 games. A lot of those would have been home runs in the past. He can play second, he can play third, probably could even play shortstop if you need him to. Westburg's a very solid player, and I expect he's going to make a step forward in the upcoming season. At number 22, former Rookie of the Year, Jonathan India. India is a bit of the odd man out right now in Cincinnati. Might be traded at some point before the season starts. They just have better players at this position. That being said, India can be useful to a team, without a doubt. Now, he hasn't returned to that Rookie of the Year form, but last year, in 119 games, he was a league average hitter with a 746 OPS. Just we saw the average drop again for the second straight season. The slugging wasn't particularly high. He did steal a couple more bases, showed a little bit more pop, even though the slugging was lower than it had been. I don't think you're ready to give up on Jonathan India just yet, but the Reds might cash in soon and help get something else to make this team better because they just don't really need him, but he's basically a top 20 second baseman in the league. Just outside the top 20 at number 21, I've got Blue Jays second baseman Davis Schneider. Shout out New Jersey. He's a Jersey boy. His high school beat us in the state finals my junior year. Not a fan of his high school, but I'm a fan of Davis Schneider. Came up and was pretty awesome last year for the Blue Jays. Now, we do need to temper expectations a little bit. I don't think we're going to see 1,000 OPS out of Davis Schneider. He put up absolutely unreal barrel rates last year. We stand a short king. In 35 games, Schneider had 8 homers, 12 doubles, a triple, and 20 RBIs, hitting 276 with a 404 on base, 603 slugging, and a 1,008 OPS. I mean, that's just absolutely disgusting in 35 games. The projections have him pretty good as well next year with an 870 OPS. There's just some things in his game like his whiff rate and his K rate that leads you to believe it's probably not going to be as easy to replicate the year that he had in 2023 as it will in 2024. But hey, a Jersey kid, I'm going to be rooting for him. Let's go, Davis Schneider. Getting the top 20 started at number 20, Los Angeles Angels second baseman Brandon Drury. Drury had a great season last year. Of course, defensively at the position, not going to be great there. You think of him more as like a first baseman, third baseman type, but he played second base well enough, and he showed that that bat is legit. 26 homers, 30 doubles, 83 RBIs, with a 262 average, 306 on base, 497 slugging, and an 803 OPS for an OPS plus at 114. We're starting to get into the range of just like good second baseman, and because he doesn't necessarily have it with the glove, I had to bump him down a little bit, but Brandon Drury's got some real pop in that bat. Super valuable to that Angels lineup, which, I mean, could probably use a little more help, and having that bat's going to definitely improve it. Coming in at number 19, we've got the man with the worst walk-up song in baseball. That would be Bryson Stott of the Philadelphia Phillies. And as a well-known Philly hater, I gotta hate that song. Will say this, Bryson Stott had a very nice year though. After what was a bit of a tough rookie season, he came back last year, improved upon every single thing in his game, and I think moving from shortstop to second base also helped because he seems a lot more comfortable at that position. In 151 games this year, he hit 280 with a 329 on base, 419 slugging, and a 747 OPS for an OPS plus at 104, so he was a slightly above average hitter. 15 homers, 32 doubles, 60 RBIs, stole 30 bases. Bryson Stott fits perfectly in this Phillies team. He does exactly what they need. A little bit of contact for a team that is very home run reliant, plays good defense, steals bases. He's a solid player. In terms of all second basemen, I think 19th is a very fair spot for Bryson Stott. But I know you Phillies fan thinks he's a top 5 guy, so go ahead, get mad in the comment section down below. Give me that interaction. Coming in at number 18, I've got Brandon Lowe of the Tampa Bay Rays. Love Brandon Lowe, but he wasn't really that good last year. Like, he was okay, but he wasn't the Brandon Lowe that we had known from like the 2020-2021 season, where he was one of the best second basemen in the game. Battling some injuries the last few years definitely hasn't helped him. 109 games this past season, 21 homers, 15 doubles, 68 RBIs, hitting 231 with a 328 on base, 443 slugging, and a 771 OPS for an OPS plus at 113. Get him back healthy, get him back playing, Brandon Lowe could definitely creep back into that top 10 for sure, but based on what we've seen in the last 2 years, I had to knock him down a few. Ooh, this next player is fun. At number 17, Edouard Julien of the Minnesota Twins. Julien's another guy who, like, defensively, he's like whatever at second base, but that's not why you have Edouard Julien. You have him because the dude can absolutely mash at the plate. In 109 games, granted he struck out a crazy high rate, striking out 31% of the time, but in those 109 games, 16 homers, 16 doubles, 37 RBIs, hitting 263 with a 381 on base, which is really impressive. 15% walk rate kind of negates that crazy high K rate. A 459 slugging and an 839 OPS for an OPS plus at 130. When you have that much swing and miss, but also that much patience, I do want to like be a little bit more careful, which is why I didn't throw Julien up a little bit higher. But this is a guy for sure by the end of next year could be a top 10 second baseman without a doubt. At the halfway point in today's video, number 16, Thairo Estrada. Thairo Estrada is like the definition of just like the bang on solid second baseman in Major League Baseball right now. At the plate, he's a league average hitter, a 101 OPS plus, 14 homers, 26 doubles, 270 average, 731 OPS. Like, bang on average. Defensively, very solid at second base. That's where you get the boost of his game, is from playing the great defensive second base. But I do want to see a little bit more out of him from the plate in order to get a little higher on these rankings. Otherwise, he's just going to stay in the middle of the pack. One of the biggest drops in today's rankings is going to be Jeff McNeil, second baseman in the New York Mets, coming in at number 15. I love the flying squirrel. Jeff McHitz, friend of the channel. But Jeff did have a down season last year. He's kind of done this twice now, sandwiched in between amazing offensive seasons. Defensively, solid at second base, and again, his value comes from that he can play second and all the outfield positions very well. But last year, we do have to talk about the fact that his batting average dropped about 50 points. So did his on base, so did his slugging, and it caused his OPS to be 711, which was good for a 96 OPS plus. Like, it just wasn't an overall good year for Jeff McNeil. Need to see more out of him, need to see him be better. Go back to that 2022 or even 2020 form where he's putting up OPS pluses of 130, 140, and then you get that elite second baseman type production. But right now, based on what we saw last year, I did have to bump him down, put him at number 15. For the 14th best second baseman in Major League Baseball, it's going to be another Minnesota Twin. It's going to be Jorge Polanco. Polanco only played in 80 games. He hasn't really played a full healthy season since 2021, but in those 80 games, 14 homers, 18 doubles, 48 RBIs. Like, yeah, that's pretty productive. 255 average, 335 on base, 454 slugging, and a 789 OPS for an OPS plus at 115. Honestly, just feels like the second coming of Eduardo Escobar over in Minnesota, where he's just going to play second base, third base, extra base hit machine, not have the most impressive slash line, but at the end of the day, a lot of the counting numbers. And that's what I'm getting with Jorge Polanco. Third straight season with an OPS plus of 115 or higher. It's a really solid second baseman. Newcomer in today's video at number 13, Zach Geloff of the Oakland A's. Probably going to be their highest ranking of the entire series this year. Geloff looked great in his rookie season. 69 games, nice. 14 homers, 20 doubles, 32 RBIs with 14 stolen bases is pretty insane production in such a small sample in a horrendous lineup. 267 average, 337 on base, 504 slugging for an OPS at 840 with an OPS plus at 137. Some of the underlying stuff makes us, well, again, want to just kind of temper expectations about what we saw from Geloff. But in that 69 game sample, he was absolutely disgusting. And you got to give him some props, even if he's on the A's. Like, I'll happily rank him high, and I think 13 is a really, really fair spot for Geloff. Next up, coming in at number 12, Cardinals second baseman Nolan Gorman. After a slow start to the year, Nolan Gorman really just heated things up in the second half, where he hit 10 homers and 5 doubles in 38 games with an 874 OPS. Overall in the season, though, still gave him a great slash line, still finished with some great numbers. 27 homers, 17 doubles, 76 RBIs, with an OPS at 805, which was really good for an OPS plus at 117. Gorman defensively, not the greatest, but at the plate, that bat is definitely legit. He's got some real pop in there, and he's going to provide a lot of offensive value for the Cardinals. Just missing on the top 10, coming in at number 11, I've got Nico Hoerner of the Chicago Cubs. It was so close. I was so close with the guy in front of him to swap the two, but the fact of the matter is Nico Hoerner is just going to be a league average hitter, which is fine because defensively he's disgusting. One of the best defensive second basemen in the game. But at the plate, there's more to be desired because last year, in 150 games, we saw him have a 729 OPS with a 280 average, 346 on base, but a 383 slugging. So it's like he'll steal bases. He stole 43 last year. He'll get on base. He'll hit for average. But his true value is with that glove, plus the league average bat. That's just outside the top 10 for me. Getting the top 10 started at number 10, Cleveland Guardians second baseman Andrés Giménez. The reason I went with him over Nico Hoerner is because we have seen him be just a plus hitter before. Nico Hoerner's never come close to a 141 OPS plus in his career. Even if that was a one-off time for Andrés Giménez, still got to give that acknowledgement over Hoerner for two guys who are also great defensively. Last year, he did take a step back, of course. He is a soft contact king. 15 homers, 27 doubles, 62 RBIs with 30 stolen bases. Relatively the same counting numbers that he had in that awesome 2022, but the average went down about 40 points to 251, 314 on base, 399 slugging for a 712 OPS. I expect Giménez to bounce back, but I don't know if he'll ever get back to that 141 OPS season. For the 9th best second baseman in Major League Baseball, I gotta give some props to Gleyber Torres of the Yankees. Gleyber played a good second base last year, and offensively, he was one of their better hitters. He's one of the better hitting second basemen in the league last year. 158 games, 25 homers, 28 doubles, 68 RBIs with 13 stolen bases for someone who just looks like they're so incredibly slow. 273 average, 347 on base, 453 slugging, 800 OPS for an OPS plus at 118. Saw him walk 10% of the time, cut the strikeout rate down to only 14.6%. All things that make you really excited about what Gleyber Torres could do in 2024. If he never had that huge home run season during the juice ball era of 2019, you'd probably have a different view of Gleyber. He's just a really solid player. For the 8th best second baseman in Major League Baseball, I'm going to go with Luis Arraez of the Miami Marlins. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to say, well, he hit 354. How is he so low? Well, because defensively, he's garbage at second base. And at the plate, that's really all he does is hit for contact. So if he's not going to have the glove and he's just going to be like a high contact singles guy, not as much value as you think. That being said, he had a phenomenal year. 147 games, hit 354, the highest in Major League Baseball with a 393 on base, 469 slugging, and 861 OPS for an OPS plus at 133. Finished 8th in the MVP voting, All-Star Silver Slugger, walked more than he struck out for the second straight season. He's a sick player. He's just not going to be better than the guys ahead of him, in my opinion. Second base low-key, a lot of really good players here. One guy who I do think is just a little bit better than Luis Arraez right now is going to be Matt McLain, who's also probably going to be second base for the Cincinnati Reds. McLain in his rookie season, 89 games, was really impressive. Now, of course, playing in Cincinnati is going to help him out a bit. It's a bandbox, but still, 16 homers, 23 doubles, and 4 triples with 50 RBIs in 89 games, hitting 290 with a 357 on base, 507 slugging for an 864 OPS plus at 129. That's really, really good. It's so good they're probably going to trade Jonathan India, who won the Rookie of the Year just a couple years ago. Matt McLain is a super solid player, all around really good on the diamond, could even play some shortstop if you need him to be. I think he's one of the better second basemen in the game right now. Just missing on the top 5 at number 6, I've got Ha-Seong Kim of the San Diego Padres. Ha-Seong Kim was elite last year, there's no doubt. At the plate, he was 10% better than league average with that 110 OPS plus, and with the glove, he was one of the best at the entire position. What I love about Ha-Seong Kim is that he's gotten better and better and better every single year since he joined Major League Baseball in 2021, improving upon literally every single number every single year. The guy has just been getting better. And with that glove and the bat improving, the floor is really high for a guy like Ha-Seong Kim, so I expect big things out of him again next season with the Padres. Just a really valuable player to have on your team. Getting the top 5 started at the number 5 spot, my mortal enemy, the most overrated player in baseball. Can't call him that anymore because, I have him at top 5 second base now. That's going to be Ozzie Albies. Now, you Braves fan, he is not the best second baseman in the league. You stop that right now. But I'll give you he's top 5. He definitely deserves to be there. He had a monster season last year after all that shit talking I did. 148 games, 33 homers, 30 doubles, 5 triples, and 109 RBIs, which is pretty disgusting. 280 average, 336 on base, 513 slugging, and 849 OPS for an OPS plus at 124. Obviously, defensively at second base, he's pretty solid at the position. Got some MVP votes, was an all-star, and really proved me wrong this past season, which is fine. He's always been a guy who gets a lot of the counting stats. Last year, he improved upon the slash line. I'm going to give him credit where it's due. He's a top 5 second baseman in the league. That being said, this next guy coming in at number 4 I do think is better, and that's going to be Ketel Marte of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Take away what he did in the postseason, which was awesome. I mean, the dude has the longest postseason hit streak in Major League Baseball history. Regular season was incredible as well. For a guy that we've seen at times play legitimately at an MVP level 2 different seasons. Last year in 2023, 150 games, he was finally fully healthy, and we saw what Ketel Marte can do. 25 homers, 26 doubles, 9 triples, and 82 RBIs, hitting .276 with the 358 on base, 485 slugging, and 844 OPS for an OPS plus at 128. Marte was good enough at second base, doesn't swing and miss, was walking more than we've seen in the past. Offensively, he was one of the better offensive valued second basemen in the league, and I think I just have a soft spot for this guy. I think he's really good, criminally underrated because where he played. Glad they made it to the World Series. We can put some national attention on Ketel Marte as one of the best second basemen in the game. Dropping down a couple spots this year, I've got Jose Altuve of the Houston Astros, and it's really not because he played bad. I mean, he was still pretty disgusting. In only 90 games, Altuve had 17 homers, 21 doubles, 51 RBIs with 14 stolen bases. A slash line of 311, 393, 522, and 915 is disgusting for an OPS plus at 151. What separates him from the two guys above him is that offensively, while he's disgusting, defensively wasn't particularly good last year. Looked pretty bad at second base. So I can't keep him at that number 1 or even number 2 spot because there are just two guys slightly better, but my gosh, Jose Altuve is disgusting. This is a Hall of Famer in the making. They better put him in the Hall of Fame one day. I don't care about the cheating scandal. This dude's one of the best second basemen I've ever watched play. Just missing on the number 1 spot. At number 2, I mean, poor Marcus Semien of the Rangers. Got the World Series. Can't get the number 1 spot here because there's a newcomer coming into these rankings. But wow, Semien is just so awesome. What an amazing contract this was. 7 years, 175. Locked this dude in for 25 to 30 homers, 30 to 40 doubles, 100 RBIs, incredible defense at second base. He finished 3rd in the MVP voting this year. Silver Slugger, All-Star. Led the American League in hits, runs, plate appearances, at-bats, games. A 276 average with a 348 on base, 478 slugging, 826 OPS for an OPS plus at 122. Marcus Semien is just such a dog. The guy has finished top 3 in the MVP voting 3 out of the last 5 years casually. This guy's so good. Throw some respect on his name. Just not number 1. Because coming in at number 1, new to the position, Dave Roberts said it himself, he's playing second base this year, it's going to be Mookie Betts, who is simply one of the best players in baseball. It's really the only reason why he's going to beat these guys is just because it's Mookie Betts. Finished 2nd in the MVP voting last year after finishing 5th in 2022. A crazy good year again for the Dodgers, hitting 39 homers, 40 doubles, 107 RBIs with a 307 average, 408 on base, 579 slugging, and a 987 OPS for an OPS plus at 163. If it wasn't for Ronald Acuna hitting 40 homers and stealing 70 bags, Mookie Betts was a shoo-in for the MVP. He is one of the best players in the league. He's moving from right field to second base, played shortstop last year too. What can't this guy do? Well, can't really hit in the postseason, but besides that, nothing. He's disgusting. He's the best second baseman in baseball, hands down. It's not even close. So there they are, my rankings for the best second baseman from every team in Major League Baseball. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking. I know you're going to tell me, but tell me down in the comment section below. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it, as well as subscribe again so you don't miss out on the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in description. That's where I'll wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. This is going to be the playlist to the current 12 days of MLB rankings in case you've missed either of the two, and this will be last year's playlist as well. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for the shortstop rankings. Bye.